Okay, we got us a tree v tree game. This is Napoleon. We're on the Galacia map. It's a nice map. Look at that. Look at that. It's a nice little map right there. Actually, I never noticed that before. It looks like kind of a peninsula, or maybe a penis, depending on where your mind's at. I was definitely going with peninsula first. Anyway, so it's a 3v3 game. I'm over there. My name is Jay Martin. In the middle, I believe, is Risquard, and on the left is none other than Z Bishop. And I don't really recall who you're playing against, and I neglected to write it down there. Oh yeah, it's definitely Risk, definitely Z. I got it straight this time. Risquard in the center, Z on the left, me on the right. And I'm kind of a retard. And when this game started, for some reason, like, I've played this map a million times, but I didn't appreciate, or somehow I got confused and I thought I was on the flat side of the map, but playing from this position or something. And the way that, like, my camera zoom was angled, I didn't understand that I was rushing up the big hill because the way my camera was anyway, I didn't understand that I was. But the good news is that I was running anyway, so I got up there onto the hill, and Riss and Z are doing their thing. Over here, Z's opponent, Mad charges Cav at the beginning. It's not really a good idea because Z has a bunch of shooter Cav, and that is a losing proposition. So Z is going to take a moment to take a bite at a crime right now. Tip: never start a Cav fight that you can't win. That's from me to you right there. Just never do that. Never start a Cav fight that you cannot win. And meanwhile, Z is rushing up there, and Riss is going in the middle. I would like to say that I think that this little group of guys, me, Riss, and Z, are actually really, really good at this map. This is a map that we're really good at, but we normally play it on the other side for some reason. I'm not really sure how that all worked out. Like, we play this map a fair bit, but normally play on the other side. What's going on my end is that my opponent has decided that I'm going to beat him to the hill, and he starts running away. And he's going to spend pretty much the rest of the game running away. So I didn't really get to do a whole lot in this game, but that's me getting my army up on the hill right there. So I'm going to show you what Riss and Z are doing. Z's opponent is not being terribly intelligent. He's put some guys in the house, which is not a bad move. But the rest of his units are in this big glob right here. You see this big mob of units? That's it. And he's committing excuse me, a few cardinal sins. The first is, let me try to get you a camera view. He's created a space in between him and his partner. Well, he's committing a lot of sins, actually. He's also bunching his ass up to get the first shot. You know, he's going to get shot pretty good. But you want to stay in contact. You want to stay in communication with your partner, because look at Z right there running Lancers right through that gap. He's going to do something really mean. He's going to do something really mean with those Lancers here in a little bit. I can guarantee it. Now, Z is not the hasty sort, so he's not exactly running into the house for melee, because there's a double chevron Coldstream Guard in there. I think somebody had a little plan, like somebody who's played this map before. But what Z is going to do is kill everybody else, pretty much. And he's very content to sit and shoot at the motherfuckers in the house. He's dealing a fair amount of casualties, and he's a forward-thinking person, so he's brought 2 units of grenadiers that are going to go into the house. And this is a really textbook example of how to kill somebody really, really fast. Like, all these units right here, they're just getting enveloped. Z's got Cavan at them. And a lot of people, I'm going to say this to his credit, a lot of people who are actually pretty good at this game suggest that Z Bishop is, bar none, the best aggressive player in the game. Now, there's a bunch of other players that would hold a candle to that. You know, there would be some debate, but it's certainly a short list. Z is certainly one of the best aggressive rush-style players who has ever picked up a copy of Napoleon Total War. He's really fantastic, and you can see him going to work on this guy. I'm not showing you the rest of the game right there because there's no point to show it. Nothing else is happening. But what is happening is Z is encircling his army. I think maybe Karlov in a post once upon a time commented on Z's play, and he said, you know, the first thing you see is the guy spawn as Ottoman, and you kind of chuckle to yourself, and the next thing you see in the blink of an eye is you got a pile of dead Frenchmen in front of you. You know, like, he's really good at getting in there fast. He's really good at killing you fast. if you're playing a game where you plan on doing any kind of attacking, he's the guy you want on your team. And that is a really good example of him doing his work. Now, obviously, his opponent here wasn't really up to snuff. But that's how he rolls. So there's our Z Bishop moment. This is back over on the center area where Risquard is engaged. And Risquard is moving on up on this GB guy, and we do have some cav rolling around in the guy's rear there. I think those might be Z's cav, actually. This guy's put a light infantry in a house, and it's being assaulted by probably a legitimate unit. For some reason, the graphics are bugging out right there. What is that? It's probably an old guard or some kind of guard unit, but you don't want to garrison houses. If you are going to garrison houses, do it with a unit whose melee stats are really good. Don't do it with a light infantry. That's not... it's not worth your time. Back over on my side, again, the Prussian guy is not doing anything. I get bored and I decide to move a bunch of my guys over to help Riss here in the house, but Riss isn't going to wait for me. Even though I told him I'd take the house for him, he's going to go ahead and take the house with his own old guard. What are you going to do? There is an interesting fight here. Let me show you this. So, Riss engages here, and he does kind of an interesting thing because there's a double line of Prussian opponent infantry, and he just runs a bunch of guys in. He just blind charges a bunch of cav, and he's doing it without a bunch of infantry support. Note that there isn't a bunch of infantry to shoot at this guy. But his first cav charge is actually pretty damn successful. He was really trying to hit those lights, but his cav didn't actually kill those lights. I actually do participate a little bit in this game, and I send Cav in to finish those lights off for him. This is kind of actually an interesting part of the battle. Riss has also got this militia unit that he chevron up in to shoot at those units that have squared right there. In the background, you can notice, I believe that's Z. It might be Riss taking out the British general. But anyway, the first cav charge by Riss and then the backup charge by me really seals the deal here because we kill those lights and then we're able to do that old hammer and anvil and get into the back of the GB line that's in this forest area. And that really kind of ruptures these guys' center. Riss is fighting in the house here, and once he clears that house, there's just a handful of units in the forest here that we're going to need to fight off. And after that, it'll be like the center player's dead. And that's it. And over on the left here, what actually happens, this is kind of funny if I remember correctly, but let me have a little drink. What had happened is Z is totally kicking his guy's ass, right? But for some reason, whoever the host of the game was, I don't remember who that was, they sent the AI to very hard, or like expert or whatever. And so Z's guy is going to rage quit because he's getting his ass kicked, and then an AI takes over. And then what happens when you set the AI to very hard, it just magnifies their stats. The AI doesn't play any better, but it improves the stats of all their units. So all of a sudden, Z is facing off against like superhuman units all of a sudden, which is kind of like irony because it means that this player can rage quit, and if you set the AI on very hard or expert, their AI is going to do quite well. So I recommend in your multiplayer matches you set the AI to like easy and do that because he is going to spend the rest of the game trying to mop up a very hard AI, which is very hard. Let's get you a little update. My guy keeps retreating. Am I starting an assault right here? Yeah, I might be starting an assault. Very organized. You can see very clean lines everywhere. I am aided, of course. Riss is really getting a lot of use out of that militia unit, right? I mean, that militia unit's doing a lot of work. What's going to happen over the next couple of minutes is that we're going to finish wrapping up the units here. That's my cav. Go cav. We're going to finish wrapping up the units in this area of the field, and whatever they have left is going to pull back into this little area, kind of using that forest as cover. And what I'm doing is I'm just starting an assault up on the flank. This guy is doing a pretty smart thing. What you can do, or an interesting tactic, you see when you're on a hill like this, on an elevation like this, the unit in back can shoot and not hit the guys in front of them. So what he's got is he's got both of these lines are able to shoot, and what you want to do is you put your longer range units in back and the shorter range units in front, so they both kind of have functionally the same range. And what he's able to do with that is he's able to put double the firepower with No extra casualties. Now, I want to say that the fatal flaw of this guy's argument was that he's using militia units to do this, so that's kind of a bad idea. Okay, now this part of the battle is actually interesting. Because I start doing my new favorite tactic in Napoleon Total War. Actually, I want to do this replay just so I can share this to everybody. My new favorite tactic in Napoleon Total War is to run up nose to nose with you. See how close I'm getting right there? What this means is that he's trying to do that double line tactic, right? But when I get really, really close, I change the angle of his attack. So his Jaegers there are going to shoot his landwehr right in the back. The counter to the double line on an elevation is to get directly up close to him, like I'm doing right here, which means that his Jaegers are going to be shooting his units directly in the back. And this is pretty fucking badass. Like, my unit is standing like bayonet length away. Like, how fucking awesome is that? I feel like so badass when I do this to people. And I'm just sitting there shooting. I'm just going to sit there and shoot at you. And that's what I do. And this tactic is actually really, really, really effective. And you can see I'm doing it all across the line. His Jaegers are shooting his guys directly in the back. This is so fucking awesome. I love doing this. And it works. Like, it totally works. On terrain, especially, it totally fucking works. Like, you just get up really, really close to them. And they can't really do anything. You know, like... Side note, I was really impressed with how well this guy's land war worked, but I think he had the 9-star general, if I know anything. And you just shoot him, you get like 100% casualties on your volleys, and they can't really do anything, man. And so the counter to the double rank on elevation tactic is just get up really, really close to him. And this shit is awesome, right? This tactic is fucking badass. Over on the left, Riss is showing up to help me out. I think that's him. That's me going in. It looks like I'm going in for a melee charge. And I'm kind of going to keep doing the get up in your face tactic a whole lot, actually. Risquard just crashes this guy's line. This guy did another reason that I really, really wanted to get in real close is see this line of stakes right here. I wanted to get inside the line of stakes so that the stakes wouldn't block my bullets. So I was really, really comfortable just getting up real close to this guy. And you can see I'm running my lights up to do the really, really close thing again. There should be a word for this. Can we call this the J. Martin tactic? Would that be cool if we just called it that? I don't know, but we need a name for this tactic where you just run up really, really close to somebody, and you can see I'm going to do it again with his Jaegers right there. And this tactic, in the situations that it's called for, is fucking awesome. Like, just get up real close to them. Like, they won't know what to hit them. And I've noticed that a lot of human players kind of freak out a little bit. Like, they don't know what to do about it. The game is normally played, you know, like at musket length or whatever. I'm doing it right here in the forest, too. Like, I'm just doing it all across the fucking line. And it took me a while to engage this guy, but once I did engage this guy, I just shot the fuck out of him. Like, look at that. I'm just butchering the fuck out of that line unit. Eventually, he gets smart and he melee charges. But that's not a big deal because I have backup line shooting at him and everything. You know what I mean? So, just get up there real close and shoot at him. Like, this fight is still going on. That's a J. Martin tactic. Eventually, this guy did just decide to go melee, which sometimes is a good idea, sometimes it's a bad idea. Right? And there's... anyway, so that's kind of the fight that you can tell that... Obviously, I've had some support from Risquard on my left. And that was me cleaning out the guy on my end. And it wasn't that tough. There's Riss. And here's Z. It looks like Z has finally killed off the rogue superhuman AI. And it was kind of funny when we were talking about it because he was like, oh man, I'm totally kicking ass. And then the AI took over. And then about a minute after that, he was like, hey, did you have the AI set to very hard or expert or whatever? And it's like, yeah. Oh, okay. This makes more sense now. But this is the end of the game. End of the game. And this is a fun one. I really like this map. This is a good map. Good map. Be cool if I kill that general. Yeah. And he went to melee, so I just squared, and then I'm shooting at him. And again, just lining right up. Look at that. Right there, baby. Go get it. Go get some. Get some. The walk close tactic, the J. Martin tactic, is fucking awesome. It really, really works. Hey, you're gonna be no worse than the other guy, right? Trust me. Trust me on that. It really, really works. So that was it. I had a bunch of line units that I didn't even fucking use in this game. The other guys killed other people first. Look at that. I got like 4 line units, or 5 line units that are mostly healthy. What are you going to do? So, hey, GG everybody. All these guys who played. It was good to play with you. And I'll check you in the next video.